Javier's uncomfortable.
What's going on, everybody? It's true. This is me and Joe and our new show, Big Fat Conspiracy Theories, and we gonna chop it up.
Welcome. We starting this podcast about conspiracies. No topic is too taboo for us to talk about.
Taylor.
We love all kinds of conspiracies, from the little ones to the super huge big ones. We're going to start off with a super oldie but goodie. We both love it, love talking about it.
Yep.
Per our beautiful, beautiful shirts, we are talking about aliens visiting Earth. And you can't talk about aliens visiting Earth without touching on Roswell.
Buttholes. Roswell's.
Roswell's buttholes.
Yeah. We gonna get there.
Okay.
Probe my booty hole.
Getting that booty hole probed. What,
Getting that.
Starting Roswell. You want to start it off? You want me to start it off?
Roswell. Was it a UFO crash? Or was it a government cover-up?
That's the conspiracy, right?
Yep.
All right.
You want to never know.
You want to do a little backstory, a little history? Roswell?
Yeah.
Let's get into Roswell. All the way back in July 1947. The date is fuzzy, but they say it's between July 4th and July 7th.
Yep.
And first person news media anybody talks to is Jesse Mercer.
Right? Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, what do you know about Jesse Mercer?
Oh, dude, Jesse, that dude was I think he was a colonel for sure.
He's a major.
Was he a major?
Yes, sir. See, all I got on Mercer is he went to the debris field.
Yeah.
He got a truckload of the debris.
Yeah.
He's the one most known for saying about the aluminum at Roswell, where it crumbled.
Yeah.
And then if you laid it flat, it would just go back to flat, normal.
Yeah.
It would
okay, so
itself.
Jesse, Major Jesse, he was the one who also made the comments, too, on the local news channel.
Right. He was told to by the Air Force, because he worked for the Air Force, major in the Air Force, was asked to by the Air Force to talk to the papers, talk to the local radio in Roswell, explain what had happened. There was a crash site from a UFO. UAP now is what they're being called.
Yeah.
But back then, 47...
UAPs.
Hey, it's there's been a unidentified flying object crash.
Yeah.
And then what I have is the president at the time got word of this and told them to lock down the info, change their story.
Yeah.
They had to change their story to say that it was a weather balloon, possibly from Russia. Because right now, 47 is right after the Cold War. Or no, I'm sorry. Right after World War II, start of the Cold War.
Yeah, we're at the start of the Cold War.
Right.
Yeah.
We're in leagues with Russia. Both of us, developing nuclear power. 2 years earlier, we dropped 2 atomic bombs. Some say those are correlated. Atomic bomb, dropping to the first sighting of the UFO.
Yeah.
But I found something else interesting that there was a crash site.
Yeah, weren't you talking about that there was 2 crash sites?
So there was a debris field
and
a crash site where a local from Roswell, a local fire department went up, not to the crash site where Mercer first went. However, they went to, both sites are north. One was a lot closer to actual Roswell, New Mexico itself. It was more of a northwestern area. Fire department shows up. The fire department there claims they saw 2 deceased bodies on the ground and one walking around real sad.
Yeah.
And an actual flying saucer. From this sighting here is where they coined the term flying saucer. They take again some of this same material back to the fire department.
What was it like? Some type of flexible?
It's like aluminum foil.
Yeah, but like no, not spongy. Dang it!
Almost like
memory metal.
Right, memory metal.
Crazy.
And so they take it back to the fire department. They kind of are looking at it because they're only at the actual site for a few, maybe 30 minutes to an hour.
Yeah.
Military comes through. Nothing to see here. Go home. Pack everything in.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Now, Roswell itself is a military town. They solely develop and trust themselves in the war effort. So in the war effort itself, they're doing stuff to help the war at all costs. They're scraping aluminum foil off of bubblegum wrappers to recycle it and help toward the war effort. So they're all in Roswell when it comes to being a military-based town and helping America win the war at all costs. So when this happens in 47, they still have that mindset.
Yeah.
Help America at all costs. So when the military comes in, cleans up everything, and says, hey, you saw nothing for your government, for your military, they're in.
Yeah.
What else you got for me?
There was something weird, though, on the way they were telling people to keep it quiet.
Uh-huh.
But like you said, in 1947, I don't know if you remember a rancher. He was named Mac Brazel.
Okay.
W. Mac Brazel. Him and his son, Vernon, they were driving across their ranch when they had came across some bright wreckage and stuff like that. And then some, whatever. I guess they found like strips of tinfoil, tough paper, sticks. And so on July 4th, he gathered this up, and on July 7th, he took it down to the Roswell sheriff, George Wilcox.
Okay.
And then he was confounded. George was.
Right.
He's like, what the hell is this? And then, so he called Colonel Butch Blanchard, commander of Roswell's Army Airfield 509 group, which was the first atomic bomb group.
Right, Butch Blanchard, because New Mexico is where they were testing the atomic bomb. So he's the first response atomic bomb group, right? Butch Blanchard?
Yep.
Okay.
And then you have, who was it? And then he called his supervisor, General Roger W. Ramey. Yeah, Ramey. 8th Air Force at Fort Worth, Texas. And then Blanchard also called Major Jesse Marshall. That's where we get the Marshall dude. And as soon as, July 7th, he went down there with that farmer, Mac Brazel.
Mm-hmm.
And then they was over there picking up all this stuff. Next day, this guy comes out with that article, like out of nowhere. Just the RAF capture flying saucer on ranch in Roswell article. So I think after that, Mac Brazel, he goes to the radio station.
Okay.
I lost a article on that one. But he went on there, and then after that, I think he was arrested. And then
by Sheriff Wilcox or by the FBI, like CIA Men in Black type.
I do not know. See, I should have killed. But he went. He's on YouTube, and he's having to interview his older self, and he's telling. They asked him if he's the one who snitched out. Oh, because the radio guy allowed Mac Brazel to stay in one of his houses or something like that.
Okay.
And they came and arrested him at that house. So they questioned the radio host, saying, were you the one who told on him? And the radio host was like, he's like, I'm not going to answer or something like that. Like, that dude told. So I think there was a lot of tension that started building up.
But do you think he gave him up because they threatened him?
Yes, I do believe that.
Because they were Men in Black type dudes.
It actually started getting really crazy.
Threatening families.
Yeah.
Like, the fire department that I talked about, right? A little girl, and I saw her in a documentary called "The Roswell Cover-Up: 75 Years Later," and this girl who was a daughter of one of the firefighters, she said, "Yeah, I played with that tinfoil in the firehouse for 5-10 minutes."
Was that the one interview with the two old ladies?
Right, and she said she was threatened by Men in Black in her kitchen, saying, "Hey,
the Men in Black got to be real.
Look, we'll take your family for you and put them in the POW camps here. We'll separate you. You never heard anything, and if you say anything about it, we have no problem wiping you guys off the face of the earth."
Yep. And I think that was actually mentioned some other things too. Oh, there was another family called the Proctor family out there.
Okay.
And it started happening where all these farmers just started hiding or collecting stuff, and we got alien material, and so they're just all keeping and hoarding. And supposedly there's a Proctor family, and they have a cave somewhere out there with like a bunch of this stuff like hidden in it. Supposedly, to the video, it's still out there, hidden in some cave, and they got like this little map that I saw. But yeah, so what happened was farmers started turning in on each other. So they started snitching other farmers out. Like, yo, hey, he down there, he got that stuff too.
Really?
I'm not the only one. So yeah, they started once they were caught.
So if they had their stuff taken, they're like, oh, these guys need their stuff taken. Yep. Why are people like that?
I don't know. That's messed up because I would have made friends with them. And then I would have went and maybe hey, just let me get that little thing, And then maybe throw in some slight blackmail, but wouldn't use blackmail, because I don't really care about that. That's too much energy.
Right?
I ain't gonna be doing all day.
Just let them get caught on their own. But how'd you get caught? Don't snitch out other people.
Hey, that's messed up. That they did that. That they did that. But dude, is it aliens or is it?
That's what we're worried about. Or is it a balloon? Because now I was reading on the internet the actual the document from the declassified whatever.
Yeah.
They're saying no, it was a test space balloon with crash test dummies in it.
Yeah.
And they were anamorphic ones, so they were just painted gray. They didn't have faces on them like you think a typical crash test dummy does with the eyes and stuff. And
that was from the first crash or second crash.
Well,
what actual crash site was
so
that?
So that's the thing. Yeah. It's at the one the firefighters went to.
Yeah.
Because there's
they call it A and B crash.
There's an idea A and B, right? Yeah. They think that the major vessel crashed in the major crash site where all the farmers got all that debris from. However, they think that ship was completely destroyed, and the flying saucer that they found the aliens from was an escape pod.
Yeah,
because it was much smaller. You couldn't intergalactic travel in this little of a unit.
Yeah.
But the government came out and said, hey, it was a test balloon with crash test dummies that we didn't want to admit. We were trying to see if we could fly spies over Russia during the Cold War to get information.
Yeah.
Because they would just, destroy us or whatever, and instantly fight back. So we couldn't disclose it until after the Cold War's over. Yeah. But now recently in news, they're saying, look, extraterrestrials are real.
Yeah, it's starting to pop up again in our...
But what's crazy to me is no one's surprised by it.
God, bro, I think at this point we just so dang... I hate the word desensitized, but I think we've seen so much.
But what do you think is desensitizing us?
I think it's just the repetitiveness of it. And if you think about it, dude, it's not just here. In 1946, during the rise of the... Oh, no. What was it? 1945 was the end of World War II.
Right.
And then after that, you have the Russia and China. Propaganda that was being flooded in the U.S., and then I think in 1947 or 1946 still, out of nowhere, I think there was a bunch of flooding of UFO. And dude, there was an article that said, saw a UFO flying 1,200 miles per hour. Like, what the heck? Just in the news, in the paper,
right.
the media.
Right. So the
And
first American known
from,
UFO sighting was in Seattle in June, and that might be the one you're talking about in June. The first known UFO.
Yeah, it was only in Western areas.
Is in 47, right? Is in 47 in Seattle.
Yeah.
And they said it looked the vessel itself looked like a cigar. Didn't have wings.
Oh. That's didn't we? What the
and
heck?
Then the next one, the next major one was in 1952 above the White House. There were 8 bright lights.
Yeah.
Moving too fast and maneuvering in different ways that no plane at the time could maneuver. And what's crazy to me is 57, 2 years after our we dropped the bombs.
Yeah.
Then, or 47, apologize. 52 is a couple of years after the Russians test their hydrogen bomb in what's, I believe, Kazakhstan today. They test a hydrogen bomb. A couple years later, another aliens show up. So I'm wondering if, like, nuclear bombs being let off, because it's splitting atoms.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I wonder if that universally is a distress code.
Oh, I remember what that.
Right?
Yeah.
And then I'm wondering, okay, we send out a distress code, whether we're testing it or not, and, you know, in the universe itself, they're like, oh, something's going wrong here.
Yeah.
And, you know, because it's so vast, it takes 2-3 years to get here.
Yep.
And they're like, oh, God, it's Earth. Lock the doors. Let's keep flying by.
I see exactly what the heck you're talking about right now. Okay, so you're saying 1945 with the nuclear stuff that went down. And then not too long after that, we got reports of aliens in social media. I mean, social media. What the heck? Media, the newspapers.
Right.
Yeah, so they were seeing, they even saw like 8 flying saucers the size of, you know, 2,000 square foot. I don't know what the heck they had or whatever the heck it said, but they saw some big ass saucers, 8 of them. And I'm like, it just sounds like today's flooded media with UFO or UAPs.
Right, UAPs. Yeah,
UTIs. It's just like
right now a UAP is a unidentified aerial phenomenon.
Yeah,
because they don't want to say it's an alien directly.
Do you think like they don't want to say that because it sounds goofy now? So like imagine saying UFO or like some word like that. Maybe so they're trying to seem more intelligent for us.
Yeah, I think they're trying to get away with the UFO because everybody's like, great,
hey, bro, we know this shit
if
already.
I don't know what a frisbee is, it's a UFO because it's flying and I don't know what it is. So it's an aerial phenomenon now because it can't be explained. It's an unexplained aerial phenomenon. And people are like, yeah, because we don't know what that is. And it could be Russia, but it might be aliens trying to touch your butthole.
Peep the shirt.
Ask me about my butthole.
Hit us in the comments about that. Ask him. Truthful man. He gonna let you know. Okay?
Better yet, I may show you.
In a minute, DMs. Gonna put that at the bottom. All right, but let's talk about this. Let's talk about in my handy dandy notebook over here. That hasn't been so handy dandy because I done I don't know where the heck Major Marcel went over here. All right, hold on.
What I love most about your handy dandy notebook is you made notes like I did,
bro,
and you were like, "These are so old school. Hey, they don't work.
Hey,
they're too old school.
Hey,
I got technology,
hey,
right?"
Taylor.
And then we sit down, and you're like, "I don't know what I'm doing with technology," and I'm like, "Well, hey, I got these notes from 1947, and we getting it.
Hey, they gonna see that. Hey, why you keep going like this? Hey, it's because I lost it. Okay, dang. Give me a chance.
That's what the best is. This is my favorite.
Yep. Yo, but speaking about what this really is, or what it could be,
okay,
we don't know. But have you ever heard? Just kidding. He has heard Project Mongol.
No.
Excuse me, Mogul. That's why you didn't hear it. Mogul. Project Mogul. Let me go down real quick on what Project Mogul is. Let's see. Let's start with General Mills in 1946.
Wait,
was
General Mills, the cereal company?
the cereal company. You heard it from me. General Mills. 1946 was a major inventor of aerospace tech and high altitude scientific balloons.
Okay.
They brought they brought a few people on too. They brought a German engineer on, Otto Winsen, who created the skyhook balloons. We're going to talk about those too. They also worked along with an American geophysicist, Maurice Ewing. General Mills, they brought along these people. Oh, dude, the Maurice guy, he was crazy because he figured out the sound waves using the ocean by setting off bombs and realizing they were the same sound waves high in the sky, which was insane to me. But anyways, after they had created this, let me see. So they strapped up the balloons with high tech cameras and mics, and that's what began Project Mogul. And Mogul is spelled Mogul, and I don't know why I said Mongol.
Okay, so what year is this? 46?
1946. Yep.
Okay.
Oh wait, my fault.
So high tech for 1946.
Yes, high tech for 1946.
Because right now, what's crazy to me is the government says there's aliens now, right?
Yeah.
There's UFOs. There's extraterrestrial crafts. But every time someone takes a picture of one of these, it looks like it's recorded on an Etch-a-Sketch. Mm-hmm. We have 8K cameras now, 4K cameras on our phones, but we can't get a good picture of a spaceship.
I think they're just doing it on purpose, just to make it look like something.
But okay, so what are they hiding? Are they doubling down and going, "Hey, look, aliens are real, but we're just kidding. It's actually, frisbees we're shooting out of a slingshot, and we just want you to believe aliens are real because we're tired of covering this up."
I think so. I think that's why they pushed it on the alien part, just to, you know what? That's what my confusion was about. Because if we're gonna push aliens, I would feel like that would make people look up into the sky
more.
You know what I'm saying? More than anything. Because this guy right here, I got the actual thing on what the heck this project was. I wanted to show who was investing into the project, which was General Mills, who they brought along to get this project, the military. Who who that was the Office of Naval Research, the ONR. They were the people that were gathering, General Mills for the funding, the scientists, the Otto, Maurice, and they was bringing them in and getting this project going. But real quick, Project Mogul, sometimes referred as Operation Mogul, was a top secret project by the U.S. Army Air Force involving microphones flown on high altitude balloons whose primary purpose was long distance detection of sound waves generated by Soviet atomic bomb tests. The project was carried out from 1947 until early 1949. It was classified portion of an unclassified project by New York University, the NYU Astro Spirit. Don't judge my grade of reading, okay? Researchers, the project was, it was like successful, kind of, to a degree, but was very expensive, huh?
Okay, so what are we talking expensive?
I'm gonna. Oh, let me see. I think it says right here actually. So I'll tell you, okay. The project was successful, but was very expensive and was superseded by a network of seismic detectors, air sampling for fallout, which was cheaper, more reliable, and easier to deploy and operate. And then I got, I know so much, but we need this information now, repeat. Project Mogul was conceived by the Maurice guy, who had an early research in deep sound channel. We're about to get into this because it's going to be crazy. In the oceans, and theorized that a similar sound channel existed in the upper atmosphere. A certain height where the air pressure and temperature result in minimal speed of sound, so that sound waves would propagate and stay in the channel due to refraction. Like that sound down there would stay up there.
So it would just hang out.
Yeah, it would just hang out.
So is the atmosphere thicker up there? Like water's thick? Is that why?
I just know that they kept referring to it as a jet stream.
Okay.
Whatever the hell a jet stream is.
It's like the lazy river, but for jets. It's where they hang out.
You remember like Finding Nemo?
Yeah.
And the turtles were in that thing?
Yeah.
That's what I picture that as every time they say
Same
that.
thing.
I mean, is that what it is?
So the current,
Yeah.
a jet stream is air current,
yeah,
like the ocean current.
And the sound's just going to stay in there?
Yeah, why wouldn't it?
It's frustrating. The project involved arrays of balloons carrying discs, microphones, and radio transmitters to relay signals to the ground. It was supervised by James Peoples, who was assisted by Albert P. Kaari. Jesus. One of the requirements of the balloon was that they maintained a relatively constant altitude over a prolonged period of time. So this balloon had to stay in that same area. Can you imagine okay, look, I know it's the government, but anyways, can you imagine the mathematical system that had to be put into this? And do you see why they had to bring in Otto and Maurice?
I mean, yeah, they're smart guys. They do.
Still
math.
Was all messed up, but anyways,
they do math. We like math here at our podcast.
Yeah,
it's fun. Stay in school.
Yeah,
we didn't.
I'm just kidding. All right, was supervised by the James people. One of the requirements of the balloon was to maintain dust instrumentation.
Dust instrumentation?
No, you know what? My fault. I'm mumbling. No, instrumentation. Instrumentation.
It's not a word.
Yeah, it's not a word. You see, like even on top of doing my own research.
Yeah.
On top of that research, it just research and just doesn't come.
Instrumentation. That's the word of the week. Hey, I'm 100% sure of it.
Instrumentation.
Instrumentation, word of the week.
And it had to be developed to maintain. Oh, I already read that. My fault.
No, you're good. You're good.
Oh, it did. No, I didn't. Okay, this is how they did it. Oh, what? Is that why it says that way? Instrumentation had to be developed. Instrumentation, that is a real word.
Nope.
Instrumentation.
I'm pretty sure it's
Look, instrumentation had to be developed to maintain such constant altitude matter. Okay. Look, hold on.
I've heard words before.
Look.
Pretty sure that's not
one. We're gonna get down to it right here.
Okay.
All right. Look. Maintain such consistent altitudes such as pressure sensors controlling the release of the ballast. God.
Not a word.
The early mogul balloons consisted of a large cluster of rubber.
So they were bouncy balls?
Meteorological balloons. Enormous balloons were made of polyethylene. The heck is polyethylene?
Polyethylene is an actual thing. There's the first word you said that's a thing. I'm so proud of you. Hey, we got one.
Hey, we get somewhere. Hey, if you were ever feeling down on yourself because you couldn't read or write or words just don't make sense to you.
It's a word.
Hey,
I'm so
one day
proud
you're
of
going to get there.
One day.
Polyethylene plastic.
They were instrumentating polyethylene.
Yes. Oh, is that how you say it? Instrumentating?
Nope.
That's still not a word. Still not a word.
Nope. We can say it all we want.
But these polyethylene ones?
Yeah.
Those are more durable, leak less helium. Oh, they use helium. Well, see, this is why I don't know a lighter air. Okay? There's NOS. Isn't that light?
Not lighter than helium.
Okay. maintaining a consistent altitude in the early rubber balloons. Dude, they use a lot of that word.
Balloon?
Polyethylene, no, constant altitude control,
Well,
and
yeah, you
polyethylene
can't. Well,
balloons
because see,
are the two major
with helium,
innovators.
so think of a helium balloon, right?
Yeah.
If you let it go, it just goes on
Oh
forever.
yeah, that thing gonna go. Yeah.
Right. So what they needed to figure out was, okay, this is lighter than air, so it's going to get us to the altitude, but we have to create a thing to get it to that altitude and stop to make it. Yeah. So that was the instrumentating.
So on top of what this material was made out of,
okay,
the farmer, Brazel, who found the rubber, the sticks, the memory metal, the foil, and then what else? Yeah, that was about it. Oh, that's what I was gonna say. I think that's what they were maybe tripped out by. The people who were finding all these what they thought were alien things. I think they were getting tripped out by it because maybe they haven't seen such technology.
Oh yeah.
So I believe I feel like we're always like 10, 20 years in the military more advanced.
Absolutely.
Than what we're receiving, right?
Absolutely.
So 10, 20 years later, then we'll receive this for consumer.
Why do you think that is, though? Do you think the military has that alien technology? And then once they get it for public consumption, it's been 20 years because they go, okay,
oh my goodness,
the public's not ready for this because they're going to freak out.
Yeah.
So we got to slowly integrate it in everyday life.
Yeah.
So when we bring out the new iPhone with the touchscreen, it seems like, oh, that's the next thing we need because we've had cell phones for 20 years now and big bricks. But, iPhone's been around for, probably 100 years already.
Or do you think...
I try not to think as much as possible.
Yeah, because it really gets you places you don't want to be.
Right.
But do you think they were using it maybe for basically like what you're saying, like almost selfish reasons to see if this could be weaponized or not, and if it cannot be weaponized, release it to the public? Do you think something like that, maybe?
For sure. Absolutely. I think if they can't use a big enough part of it to be weaponized, to keep people at bay, they release it to the public. But
it's got to be that way.
Are they releasing it to the public to increase its weaponization?
Yeah.
Example, right? If everyone has a cell phone, I can weaponize every cell phone.
Yeah.
Then instantly I have a army of 300 million people. I have an army of 2 billion people in China.
Yeah. Well, they were they were the ones making all of our iPhones. I know that for a while. They just didn't get switched over to what? I think Taiwan picked it up, which I don't even know if Taiwan's still doing that. I gotta look up I gotta look up and see if Taiwan's even still making our stuff.
You know what I think? Here's my other conspiracy. I think that China and Russia and America and Argentina and all the countries that supposedly hate each other are working together. It's just a show.
Yeah.
I've
had big time feelings like that.
People think we have to hate each other.
Bro, big time feelings.
Right? But we're working together.
Why is it always... Tell me, why is it always China and Russia?
They're the furthest away from us, so the people can't go over there and research it for themselves. It's going to cost them too much money. Yeah. And the people who have the money to go over and dig deep and do all that research are already part of the game.
Did you see fucking China's fucking telescope? Was it their telescope? Yeah, it had to be their telescope. Dude, this thing is fucking... This thing is freaking huge.
And what are they doing with it? Are they putting it
I don't know what the
in
hell they're doing with
space
that
as a satellite?
It's just in the ground. It has to be in the ground. It's so goddamn big.
We know
it's
you love
built in the ground.
We know you love satellites.
Yeah. Or do we? We don't get back to that one. Y'all ain't ready. They ain't ready for that. They just need to hear Roswell run in. That's it. Cause
you ready for the conclusion?
We sure is.
We're going to wrap up Roswell.
Conclusion time.
Says the conclusion is when critically examined, the claims that the U.S. Army Air Force recovering Flyer Saucer and alien crew in 1947 were found to be a complication of many variable events. For the most part, the descriptions collected by UFO theorists were of actual operations and tests carried out by the U.S. Air Force in the 1950s. Despite the usual unsavory accusations by UFO proponents of cover-up, conspiracy, and intimidation, etc., documented research revealed that many of the activities were actually historic scientific achievements of which the U.S. Air Force is very proud. However, other descriptions are believed to be distorted references to Air Force members who were killed or injured in the line of duty. The incomplete and inaccurate intermingling of these actual events were grounded in just enough fact to weave a sensational story, but cannot withstand close scrutiny when compared to official records.
And for my conclusion, I got the whole thing was fake, made to pull the attention of the people off of the war stuff. Forgot what the hell I wrote. Now, my conclusion is that they pulled the attention off of the people so the military can spy on Russia through Project Mogul for weapons of mass destruction, aka atomic bombs. That's my conclusion. That's all.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in to the very first episode of the Big Fat Conspiracy Theory.
Yup. Taylor.
Javier and myself hail from Las Vegas. We are starting this podcast to bring our funny, light-hearted perspective on conspiracies of the world. Like we said, we're going to touch on this one and touch on all other conspiracies. We might possibly touch ourselves. You'll never know.
Or conspiracies that you want.
Yeah, reach out to us. We'll in the comments or the thingy below. I'm old. I don't know what they're called.
He ain't old. He just keeps saying that.
But
we're going to put it down there in the comments.
And stuff.
Our email.
We might put it here or over there. Or
questions
down here,
there.
Or this
or
way.
There.
Find it somewhere around.
Yeah.
And if you see us out in public, ask me about my bow.
Yeah, ask him. Because he might have just a picture in his phone. You're going to get lucky, okay? Yeah. And in that same email, go ahead and maybe put if conspiracy that you might want to talk about, thoughts that you have, the Roswell thing, put it in the comments. Freaking subscribe, because you're not going to want to miss this, because it's going to be, we're going to be talking about scary shit, but it's going to be funny.
And we're going to have guests here all the time.
Oh, there's going to be guests.
Yes, tons of guests.
Hey, it's just us right now, but hey, we don't know what the future
they're coming.
holds.
Let us know if you want to be
they're coming. Aliens or the government, one of them. Tell them.
Aliens or the government.
Hey, we don't know. We don't know.
Let us know.
Me and Joe, big and fat.
Thanks for tuning in, guys.